So in Canada, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I live in Ontario and we're in GMT -4 here. So it's 2 o'clock, but I think it's 7 o'clock in Nigeria. So if you can hear me, raise your hand and then also do a yes so that I can be sure I can be heard by everyone. Yes, okay, great. Lower our hands. Okay, so this is how we're going to go. I'm going to take a few minutes to go through my presentation, and then I'm going to answer questions. So while I'm going through my presentation, the chat will be inactive. Nobody will be able to post anything on the chat. When we come back from the presentation, then we can now start talking on the chat, okay? So that's how it's going to go. So when I start the presentation, I'm not going to be looking at the charts. I'm just going to go on talking my presentation, and then when I come back, we can now talk from there. And I've muted everyone, so you cannot talk, okay? Okay, I'll just go straight to my presentation now. Do I do that now? Right here. No, I doubt that you can see me. Okay, sorry, I was muted there. I just wanted to be sure that everyone can see my slide. You can hear me now. Great. Can you see my slide? Can everyone see my slide? Let's go. Amazing. Great. Okay. Oh my God, why can't you hear me? Okay. Since you can see my slide, I'm going to continue. Okay. One. Stop there. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Good afternoon if you live in Canada, and then good morning wherever you are. So today I'm going to be talking about how I relocated my family to Canada via the study route without using the IELTS. And it's sort of like a tell-all. I know a lot of people have been asking me how I was able to do it. So I'm going to be talking about how I did it. And then as I talk about my own experience, I'm also going to be sharing the lessons that I've learned and also talking about 1 or 2 things that you should take note of if you want to go on this journey or if you are already on this journey. Okay. So first of all, my name is Sheyi Obasi. I used to live in Lagos, Nigeria before I came to Canada, and I went to the prestigious University of Lagos, graduated, and then these are all the companies that I worked with in Nigeria before I left. So I worked at some of the best companies, as you can see, and as I progressed from one company to the other, I was growing both in rank and in salaries. So I wasn't doing too badly as a person. I was an executive management person before I actually left Nigeria. However, Nigeria was not getting better. I'm one of those people who had so much faith in Nigeria. It was my husband that was always talking about, we need to relocate, we need to relocate. And I was like, no, I had a good job, I had great prospects, and I wanted to stay in Nigeria. But at a point, the economy was failing, insecurity was rife, and I knew that it was time. So I faced reality and I decided that, you know what, okay, let me look at this relocation thing and see how it goes. So I did my master's in the UK. I worked for some time there, but then I still returned home. And when I returned home, of course, there was still the drive to relocate by my husband. And I said, okay, you know what, let's start both the Canada and the Australia immigration. And I included Australia because I had a friend, close friend who was in Australia. He relocated there and he was telling me, you know what, you come to Australia, it's great. I was like, okay, fine. And it seemed like Canada was a bit harder. So I said, let me do the Australia and the Canada together. And whichever one comes through, we're going to go there. My husband did not want Australia, but I was like, let's do the two. So you know what, and I started the Australian immigration. And as you can see here, I did do my assessment, and the assessment came back to say that I meet the basic requirements for a skilled visa for Australia. And this is like a summary of the assessment that I did. And this was way back in 2016, as you can see from the dates there. So when I got this result, of course, I was elated. I was very happy. So I went ahead and did the PT English test. So for Australia, they don't do the IELTS. They use an English test called the PT, quite difficult, but I did that. I gathered all my documents, submitted my application. I was excited. And then one day I got a response back from the Australian government that my application had been updated, and I excitedly went to check my email and logged into my account at that time, and my application was refused. So, well, I can't talk about how disappointed and I was, because we had spent quite a lot of money to do that, to gather documents, to do the test, and a lot of other things, to also pay for the application for all of us in my family. And then it was refused. If you look at the right here, this is a plea I made for reassessment for our application that was refused, telling them that they must have made a mistake, and then pointing out some things that were wrong. And then, of course, they told us to pay some money again, as if we were reapplying all over again. We paid that money again. And then the second time, the application was still refused. Twice, spent a lot of money, and the second time was refused. It was in the night. I can remember very late in the night, I just entered into a visitor's room. I sat down on the floor and I started crying. And while I was there crying, something happened. So while I was crying, my phone rang. And it was an old friend that I had schooled with in the UK. I hadn't seen her in years. And then today, when I was on the floor crying, suddenly she called me and I picked up the phone, and she said who she was, and I don't want to call her name. And immediately she said who she was, I was like, how are you calling me that? How did you get my number? She was like, Shay, I'm in Canada. I've been trying to reach you. I'm in Canada. And as she said that, I just burst out crying again. And she was like, what happened? Is it your husband? Is something wrong? Are you sick? I was like, nothing like that. And I explained to her that just now I was just refused. I was just refused the skilled visa for Australia. And she was like, what kind of dirty Australia? Forget about Australia, come to Canada, that she's in Canada. And I was like, okay, what am I going to do? And she said, okay, you know what, just hurry up, go and open an express entry profile. And she was going to help me and all that. So I stood up from that place where I was crying with some hope. And then I opened up this express entry profile. It was there for a while. No one was calling me to apply. And then I started looking for jobs. I heard that if you had a job, it will help. I sent thousands of applications every day. I was applying. And then we also got into the hands of an agent. They are very popular. I don't want to call their name. And then this is an international agent. And in a couple of them, nothing came out of there. They wanted us to continue to pay huge sums of money. We had already paid lots of money. None of that was working. And of course, hopelessness started to set in. And I know there are a lot of people here who would identify with that. I was getting hopeless. I would start and I would stop. I would start and I would stop. I would start and I would stop. But then that drive, because this is something that I already started, and I'm somebody who is results oriented, I'm driven, and I knew that this is something that we wanted to do. So even though I stopped, I would start again. So I started praying. Of course, fasting. It had gotten to that level, and I started doing a lot more research. And I went back to my friend. I told her, "This thing they work. Oh, this thing they work." She was like, "Why not? That works. Actually, you are sharp." That somebody just came in through the study route. That's when she told me about the study route. That's one of her friends just came in through the study route, and you are even more intelligent than her. You have a master's. You can do it. You can do it. I was like, "What does it take?" And she told me that you have to come and study. After studying, you work for 1,560 hours, and then you get permanent residence. I was like, I'm for it. Let's go. So she told me what to do, and then I adjusted my schedule, and every day after work, I would search for 1 hour for schools before bed. I would search and search after work, even though I was feeling sleepy. It didn't matter. So eventually I applied to 2 schools. One of the schools that I applied to was the University of Saskatchewan. And I got admission to do a master's in, it was a master's in sustainability, I think. This is the letter. The letter is dated April 28, 2017. And as you can see, congratulations on behalf of the University of Saskatchewan. I'm pleased to offer you admission as a qualified student to the Master of Sustainable Environmental Management Program, blah, blah, blah. And it was valid for 2017. Amazing. I was happy. And then let me talk about, I just want to use this opportunity to talk about when you do apply to a school in Canada, you have to use the DLI lister. This is just a screenshot from DLI list. And you have to look at this place where it says offered PGWP. So PGWP is a post-graduation work permit. So it has to be yes. So if you see a program that says the PGWP is no, then please don't apply to that program, because you will not be able to work after studying, and you definitely want to work after study. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. So with my letter, I guess I'm going to talk about this later. So with my letter, I gathered all my documents and I applied for visa. And after a couple of months, my application got an update. Yeah. I was excited, and I excitedly opened my RCC account to check. I made sure I was in a room alone when I went to check, because I wanted to savor this news that I'm getting from RCC. Lo and behold, when I opened my account, I was refused. This is my refusal letter dated July 7, 2017. I had cleaned out my UCI and my application number, but it says, "Dear Oluseyi, thank you for your interest in studying in Canada. I'm refusing your application on the following grounds. I am not satisfied that you leave Canada at the end of your stay based on the purpose of your visit." And I was like, what is this? How can you refuse me for purpose of visit? The purpose of my visit is to go and study, of course, and it was clear. And I did do a good application. My application was great. So I didn't see any reason why I was refused. So based on the advice of my friend, I did apply for my GCMS notes, which is what I advise anyone who has had the application refused to do. You must apply for GCMS notes so that you can see the officer's notes and know why you were refused. Something like purpose of visit now. I mean, how would I know what they are talking about? I don't know what purpose of visit is. So I did get my my GCMS notes. It was dated July of 2017. And this is all she said. I'm going to give you some time to read it. It's just, I mean, this visa officer just didn't want to give me the visa, because you're saying that the program of study in Canada does not appear to be consistent with previous level of education and employment history. Applicant has not provided compelling reason for study in Canada. It is unclear why applicants will incur cost of relocating to Canada rather than undertake similar cost of study in country of residence. And we didn't have this master's in my country, and I did state that in my SOP. But anyway, this is what the visa officer said, and she or he refused my application. So by the time I got that, I didn't even know where to start from again. I didn't know what to do. I was tired. I tried Express Entry. I tried Australia. I tried to get jobs. None of it was working. I've even tried to use agents. I was tired, and I was telling myself that maybe this was not meant to be. And I know that I do get messages from people all the time who are fed up, who are tired. They're like, this thing is not working. And that's exactly how I felt. But then I began to think that I owe it to my children to secure their future. I used to feel guilty. I mean, thinking about what the future would hold for these children, especially if I had the chance to move them to a better country, and I didn't do everything that was in my power to do. And of course, I had the support of my spouse. we're doing this together, and we're like, you know what, we can't stop now. We can't stop. So I picked myself up and I decided to try one more time. I was like, if I try this one, it doesn't work, I don't know what I'm going to do. You understand? So I started searching for schools again. I started reaching out to supervisors for funding. This time I was like, okay, you know what, since she's talking, the visa officer was talking about why am I going to make this investment? Maybe I should reach out to supervisors for funding. And as at this time, I had more information, I had more knowledge about the Canada study route, like I didn't have when I did my first application. So I knew a bit more. So I started reaching out to supervisors for funding. So of course, like I did before, after work, I would spend an hour every day searching, sending emails, reading research, studying all their papers, trying to make sure that my emails and my proposals were in line with their what they had asked, were in line with their research and everything. And I was doing all of that. And then lo and behold, I started getting refusals. I would send emails, they would send back to me. And these are some of the refusals that I did get. I'm sorry, family circumstances mean that I have to take a break for student supervision. This person said that the program is very competitive. They are not currently taking students. This one said they do not have any information for me, no positive news. So these were the kinds of emails that I kept getting. And with every of this email that I got, I became more hopeless. I started to lose hope that it might just never happen. Do you understand? And then I knew that I needed a plan B. I mean, if I didn't get a supervisor, then I needed to go for a program that didn't have funding. I went from looking for PhD because I already had a master's. I left that one, started looking for master's, and then I was doing the two. I applied to PhD, I applied to master's. I was like, anyone that clicks is the one that I will go for. But I was getting all these refusals. And then eventually I now applied to I started getting some positive responses after some time. Funny enough, that's how things work. The negative responses came first. And, because I kept going on, then the positive responses started to come. I started to get people say, okay, wow, that's a great proposal. I want to speak to you on Skype. I started to get that kind of thing. And one of those that I got was from Brock University in Ontario. Okay, now I applied to Brock University and I did not need to provide the English proficiency test, the IELTS. And this is a screenshot from their website. They have an frequently asked question there, do I need to submit an English test, proficiency test? And the answer is no. If you are from one of the following exempt countries, you will not be required to provide a proof of English language proficiency. And on the list of exempt countries, Nigeria is one of the countries, yeah? That's Nigeria here. So if you're applying to Brock University and you are from Nigeria or from all the other countries that are there, you don't need to provide an IELTS test. And it's not just Brock University. There are a lot of universities, a lot of colleges that list Nigeria as an English language country and do not need you to provide the English test. Now, for the countries that do say you should provide, you can ask for a waiver because you're from Nigeria, or you can send them an English proficiency letter from your university. Okay, so this was the email that I did send to the professor at Brock University. My name is Oluseyi. I graduated with a BSc in blah, 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 second class upper. I have an MSc and all that. And, she came back to me. My apologies for your previous email. She did a Skype meeting with me twice. Grilled me on the research, grilled me on what I wanted to do. So it wasn't just like it just fell on me. She actually Skyped with me a couple of times. I had to send her my writing sample. I sent her my previous research, and I sent her my proposal. And of course, one fine day in March of 2018, she came back to say, I'm writing with excellent news. You have been recommended for admission. Yeah, so I was recommended by the department to the graduate school for admission, and I actually got admitted. And this was my mood. On the right, that's my picture there with my mood. I mean, after all that I'd gone through, they had spent a lot of monies. There was even some kind of tension between me and my husband. My family were not sure what we're doing. I was even looking at options. And eventually, here it is. At least I've crossed the first hurdle. I had admission with funding. Okay, so this is my funding for the first year was $27,076, and I think that my tuition was about $22. So I even had some extra money. And then of course, I knew I had visa was there, so I gathered all my documents and applied for visa. But this time I was far more confident because I'd done deep research and study, and I gathered all my documents based on the research, the study I'd done, the advice I'd gotten. I applied for visa and I started to wait as usual. And I think 2 months or so later, I got an email update that there was an update on my application, of course, and when I checked, my application had been approved. So this is the messages I got from IRCC. I think I submitted March 18 or so, and by June 1st, my application was approved. And this is final decision, your application was approved. Check your messages below for details. After that, I did get my study permit when I came into Canada. So this was my study permit. And as you can see, it says that we accept employment on or off campus if meeting eligibility criteria. So I met the eligibility criteria. I came to study, so I was able to work for 20 hours outside of campus. And then when you work on campus, it's unlimited hours, and that applies to any student that comes to Canada. So whether you come to do an undergrad or you come to do a one-year program, you can work on campus for unlimited hours, and you can work off campus for 20 hours a week. And on the right there is my profile at Brock University, where I did my Master of Sustainability. And if you go to Brock University website, that profile is still there, just talks about my research, talks about my background. And then, of course, I was also selected as an international student ambassador for Brock University, representing Nigeria. I was one of 10 other students that were selected. These 10 students are from 10 different countries: Brazil, China, India, Costa Rica, and the rest. And Nigeria was one of them. And that's the 10 of us, and I was one of them. Amazing experience that I had as a student ambassador. And then, of course, I graduated. That's my certificate. And then since I'd graduated and my school was one of the postgraduate work permit schools, I applied for work permit. That is my work permit over there. It's called the postgraduate work permit. I've circled it. And then it's for 3 years. This was for 3 years because my studies was for 2 years. And then the next thing was, of course, permanent residence after study. So it's not just about studying. A lot of us that want to come here want to study, we want to work, and we want to get our permanent residence. So what are the options that are available for permanent residence if you studied in Canada? There are actually a lot of them, and I've put some of them here. You can actually apply for the Federal Skilled Worker Program, that's the express entry, or the Federal Skilled Worker Program using the Canadian Experience class. So if you have work experience in Canada after you study, you can work for 1 year and then apply for the Canadian Experience class. Or you can apply to your provincial nominee program, home care worker program, or the AIPP. If you were in the Atlantic region, this is called the Atlantic Provincial Nominee Program. It's for those 4 regions, 4 provinces in the Atlantic, and it's a great program, and that's why I usually recommend the Atlantic region. And then you have the TR to PR. It's the temporary residence to permanent residence. So this is a new program that was started when COVID started, and they are looking to keep this program going. So it's for international students and those who have work permits in Canada. This is actually one of the most popular now, the TR to PR. And there are lots more options if you're in Canada and you school here for you to convert from your temporary residence to a permanent residence, a lot more than this, but these are some of the most popular ones. And what I did was I did the 2 of them. I did the Canadian Experience class, and then I did the Provincial Nominee Program. I was like, anyone that goes through, that's the one we're going to use. So this was my nomination for the Provincial Nominee Program. I was nominated by Ontario. So I schooled in Ontario and I did my Provincial Nominee Program for Ontario. And as you can see here, we are pleased to inform you that a certificate of nomination has been granted under the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program. So they gave me a nomination, and with that, I was able to apply for permanent residence. So this is a certificate of nomination they gave me, which I used to apply for permanent residence. And like I said before, I also applied for the Canadian Experience class. You can see here we are writing you about your express entry profile, due to what you've provided us, we are pleased to invite you to apply for permanent residence under the Canadian Experience class. So I had 2 options there to apply for permanent residence, and eventually did get the permanent residence using the Ontario nominee program. Okay, and this was my mood. Of course, I mean, I've told you a little bit of what I went through. I didn't talk about the emotions, about the tears that I cried, about the monies that were spent, about the hopelessness, about how my children will always be asking me, "Mommy, have they approved our visa? Have they approved our visa?" You can imagine, you know how children are always asking, and you have to explain to them, "No, they refused it, and we're applying again. Oh, don't they like us?" You know, my children used to ask all those kind of questions. So this was my mood eventually, that we got it at last. And I imagine my children praying for me. I imagine my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren praying for me that, okay, oh, it was my great-grandmother Sheyi through which we were able to come to Canada. And it's just a great feeling. I think about it all the time that, wow, my grandchildren, great-grandchildren will all be Canadian citizens because I did not give up, okay? And then since I've been here, trust me, I've told as many people as I could. I told my friends, I told family that this is what I did come and do. Some started the process and I helped them. I used to write out steps for them to follow, little pamphlets that I would send to them, do this, do that. And I was doing all this for free. Some people delayed, some were not interested, just the way I wasn't interested before. When my husband used to tell me I wasn't interested, they had good jobs, they had Nigeria was looking good, some were not interested. But today, most of them are in my DM asking how they can come to Canada. Of course, because the situation in Nigeria, both the economic situation, cost of living, the security situation in Nigeria is terrible, getting more terrible every day. So a lot of those people who were not even interested before are now interested. And it's a shame, because if they had come then, they probably it wouldn't have been as difficult as it is now, because a lot more people, not just in Nigeria, but many other countries, are wanting to come to Canada. So why did I tell you that story? I know it's a bit long, and I'm sorry about that, but I just wanted you to know that I have been in your shoes. So I'm not someone who dropped from the sky into this place. I've been in your shoes. I felt that hopelessness. I've been back and forth. I've given up. I've come back again. I've cried. I've been refused. And if I can do it, you can do it too. So you can actually become a Canada permanent resident using the study route. And the study route is simple. You choose a school and a program. It's simple, it's not easy. You choose a school and a program, and then you choose, it's good to also choose schools in provinces that have ease of becoming a permanent resident after you've studied in the provinces. You apply to University of Canada, the University or college, you get admission offer, and then you apply for study visa, just the way I showed you step by step how I did it. And after schooling, you apply for study visa. After getting your visa, arrive in Canada to study, you get your study permit, you study like you said you would do. Don't come and say you're studying and then go and do something else. Very, very dangerous. And then you graduate and apply for permanent residence. And why do I say that the study route is actually the best? Because it's the easiest route and it has the highest admission rate to Canada. Most of the people who become permanent residents in Canada are international students. Yeah. Every region here, every province is juggling for their international students to actually come back to become permanent residents, because Canada has an immigration level that they need to reach, and each province has their own numbers that they need to reach. So the provinces where people don't really want to go, apart from Ontario and BC, they have very good programs for their international students. You do not need IELTS, like I've shown you. There are no age restrictions. So whether you're 18 years old, maybe even if you're 15 or 16 and you want to come to high school, or you're 40 years old and you have a career, a business, and you want to like upgrade your skills, you can actually come to study, and your family can join you in Canada. If you are married, your spouse can get a spousal open work permit, and with that open work permit, they can work anywhere in Canada. It doesn't even have to be in the city where you are schooling. It's an open work permit, so they can work full-time and they are able to support you. And your children get study visas or visit visas based on their age, and they school for free up until 18 years old. Yeah, and once you've stayed in Canada for like 18 months or so, your children start getting the child benefit payments, okay? And then it's a sure route to permanent residence, like I showed you, because you're getting Canadian education, you're getting Canadian work experience, and definitely there's no way you would not find a way to become a permanent resident except you're not serious. And this is something you can do yourself. I showed you what I did. I did not use an agent. The only time I wanted to use an agent, I was almost duped. I dropped them. And I didn't use an agent. And you can do it without using an agent. You can do it by, being being fortitude, like being following it and taking all the actions that you need to take, and you can start right away. So why do so many people struggle with this? So many people struggle with getting admission. So many people get admission and still struggle with getting their visas denied several times, just like I did as well. It's because they lack the right formula and the right guidance, okay? And that is where I come in because of the experience that I've had in this. I've had experience because I applied twice for study permits. And then since I've been here, I've developed the knowledge, like I've learned, so I continue to learn. So there are schools where you can go to learn these things here if you are permanent residents. And of course, I've grown my network. Network with immigration lawyers, immigration consultants. I understand the system and I know what is happening. I'm friends with visa officers, and they tell me what it is that they look out for when people submit admission applications. So I'm very knowledgeable about this. And with all this knowledge and experience, I've built what is called the no hassle Nigeria to Canada Jaguar system. Now, even though this is showing as a book, the no hassle Nigeria to Canada system, it's not a book. It's actually a comprehensive step-by-step training guide to become a permanent resident using the study route. I know there are some people on this Zoom that already know about the Jaguar system or already have it. It has simple to use school search tools. There's a database of schools that you can choose from, and it shows you how to get access to long-term international affordable study loans. We have sample templates that you can model, from letters to SOPs to emails. There's step-by-step guide to study visa processing, which is one of the places where people struggle. It is that getting their visa approved. And we have step-by-step guides, we have videos, we have templates, we have samples that can help you with your study visa application. Excuse me. And we have strategies on how you can apply for your family to join you, just in case your family is not going with you immediately. We provide professional services to process your admission and visa application, but these are paid professional services for those who cannot do it themselves. And you have access to me and my team for basic support and guidance. I'm going to give you a snapshot of what it looks like inside the no hassle Nigeria to Canada Jaguar system. We have 10 modules. The first one is a welcome module. The second one shows you how to get a letter of admission, so how to get admission in school. Module 3 is all the resources that you need to get admission in a college or a university. Module 4 shows you the basics of applying for an undergraduate program. So we're not just about the master's and the PhD or the postgraduate. Also, how do you get a diploma or an undergraduate program? That's what's talked about in Module 4. Module 5 is the study visa application process. So everything from what documents you need, what do you do if you've been refused before, how do you provide proof of funds, and all the things like that is what is in Module 5. Module 6 is your family application. Of course, how does a family join you? Who is family? What do they need to provide? Module 7 is your post-graduation work permit. So after you finish schooling now, what next? How do you get your post-graduation work permit? And how do you move from that to become a permanent resident, which is the main thing, the main reason why you're in Canada. You want to become a permanent resident, and from there you want to become a Canadian citizen. And then in Module 8, you have your bonuses. Module 9, Module 8, you have your bonuses and then how to contact me. Module 9 is where we put details of the paid professional services, and we have frequently asked questions in Module 10. Okay, so this is just a snapshot of what the training consists of. So it's basically all of my experience and expertise that will help you avoid the cost of errors. The cost of errors is not just in money, it's also in time. The more time you waste, the more difficult it becomes. Recently, Canada has been doing some changes to their policies, express entry, PNP. Nobody knows what changes might come to the study process for now. For now, it's fine, but nobody knows. So in short, you are able to use my experience and expertise, you skip the bad stuff, and you move on to the good stuff more quickly and for an amazingly affordable price than if you try to figure it out on your own, or if you try to use an agent. Of course, using an agent is expensive. You're not really sure of what they will do for you. And if you wanted to figure it out by yourself, you could be wasting time and going down a rabbit hole, chasing a lot of false information that we do have online. There's a lot of false information online. Trust me, I check, and there's lots of false information. And people ask all the time, they have wrong information. So, but the Nigeria to Canada Jaguar system is not a job fixing program. We do not give scholarships. People with scholarships are the universities and the colleges. We do not arrange accommodation. We do not provide bank account statements or sponsorship, and we do not arrange flights or travels. We don't do all of this. So we're not a travel agency. We just help you to do all the other things that are explained right here of what the Jaguar system is, okay? So it's a system that shows you step by step how to achieve your dream of relocating to Canada in the most no hassle and most affordable way possible. And I wanted to answer a question that something that was here in terms of, I know I get that question all the time, so I wanted to answer it. So let me go back there. Sorry about that, and answer. How much does study in Canada cost? So I get this question all the time. So I'm going to leave this here for a couple of seconds for people to see. You need to pay the application fees to the school. Most schools, if not all schools in Canada, need you to pay an application fee, ranges from $75, not $70, $75 to about $150, depending on the school. You have to pay that to apply. Tuition ranges from about $12,000 to $40,000 or even more, depending on the program and then the province and then the level of the program. Living expenses is $10,000 per year. So that is what they expect you to pay for accommodation, for clothing, for feeding, you know, for maybe health insurance and all that is $10,000. If you're coming with an additional family member, you pay $4,000, you show $4,000 proof of funds for each of them. So if it's you and your spouse, so that's $14,000, you and your spouse and your baby, that's $18,000. And then you need to pay your visa application fees is $150, Canadian dollars, everything here is Canadian dollars, please, plus $85,000 for biometrics. If you haven't done biometrics before, you need to do medicals if you're 10 years and above, I think. If you're up to 10, that's about $50,000 as of now. Of course, you need to have money for your airfare and miscellaneous expenses. So in total, that's what Canadian education costs. And then, of course, you can get scholarship or funding or a loan or a sponsor to cover this cost. I know a lot of people will still ask, so that's why I took the time to go and show you that. So let's just continue from where we stopped. So how much will all this good value cost you? All of this that I've talked about. So the no hassle Nigeria to Canada Jaguar system, as some of you already know, it's only 40,000 naira. 40,000 is something that you take out for a family meal, a good Gucci handbag is 40,000, a good pair of shoes, and that's all that you're going to be paying to me or to our organization to get the no hassle, your own access to the no hassle Nigeria to Canada Jaguar system. And you get these two limited time special bonuses, how to get a job and accommodation in Canada. People always ask, how do I get accommodation? Where will I come and stay? How do I arrange accommodation? What about getting jobs? All of that is answered in that bonus. And then that important checklist, 12 things that you need to start studying in Canada. There are 12 simple things that you can overlook. But then there are 12 simple things that we're pointing out to you that you need to get yourself prepared. You're coming to a new country. Yeah, you're basically just moving your life. So there are some things you need to have in place. And that bonus shows you what those things are. So what are you going to do? I've told you my story. I've told you what the Jaguar system is, the basis of the Jaguar system and why I actually created it. I was helping friends and family for free before now. Like I would write the booklet for them and I was practically forcing people, telling them, you know, come, this is a great place. Some people didn't listen, but yeah, well, I guess it is what it is. So what are you going to do? There's only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve. That's the fear of failure. And sometimes the fear of failure actually leads to the fear of trying. And then sometimes people just project this fear of failure and fear of trying into different things to make excuses. You can make 1,000,001 excuses of why you would not try. Or why you're scared, but whether you're scared or not doesn't change the real circumstances of things. Things are still what they are. The economy is still what it is. The naira is 710 to $1 today. It's amazing. I mean, it's crazy. It's not amazing. So that is one thing that can stop you from pursuing your dream. And then just remember that you cannot climb the ladder of success with your hands in your pocket. I told you my story of stopping and starting. I would stop because I was tired, but then I'll start again. My hands were not in my pocket. My hands were working. I was working. I was a management executive. I'll come home in the night and I would work on my Canadian dream. It was a dream. It was pushing me. I could not sleep without, doing that every day, but I did the work. and I also got the results. So a year from now, you may wish you had started today. Lots of people wish that. I too wish I had started earlier when I started. I had lots of friends who also went to Canada before and they were telling me, but I wasn't interested, you know. So this always happens. A year from now, you may wish you had started today. Yeah. Don't you want your children to pray for you? Don't you want your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren to be Canadian citizens? Of course, they will also be Nigerian citizens because that is their roots, but then they'll be Canadian citizens. They have all the advantages and benefits of being a Canadian citizen, and there are lots of them, but that's not what we're talking about today. So this is an extremely limited offer. Like I always say, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Some people ask so many questions. They ask everyday questions. They take no action. And if you don't take any action, things will continue to be the way it is. Even there is a law in physics. If you leave something in one place and you don't move it, it doesn't move. That's the law of movement or the law of action or something. So if nothing changes, nothing changes. Now, is there a guarantee for purchasing the Jaguar system? The truth is that the Jaguar system will give you a fighting chance to come to Canada. As long as you are serious, like I said, you meet the requirements and you actually follow the system. But all sales are final. And that's why I'm going through the trouble to make these presentations, to explain, to answer the questions, to put a frequently asked question in my sales page, because I need you to make an informed decision. And if you are not serious, please do not purchase. We're not like begging people. This is your life and this is the life of your children and maybe your unborn children. So if you're not serious, do not get the Jaguar system. So what have others said about the system? This system works. We have a lot of testimonials in the sales pages. I do share a lot of testimonials on my WhatsApp status, a lot of testimonials also. We updated the sales page. So it does work. I don't even need to go into that. And if you've watched the previous webinars, you would see lots of testimonials that people have shared, both video testimonials and also text testimonials. So like I said before, this is the No Housing Nigeria to Canada Jaguar system. It is only 40,000 Naira today. And this is the price today. It was 25,000 a few months ago. Some people delayed. Now they are getting it for 40,000. And who knows what will happen. There's a imminent price increase because we're always upgrading the system. And don't forget that the value of Naira to dollar is dropping. So everything, cost of living, not just in Nigeria, also in Canada, funny enough, cost of living is increasing everywhere. So the cost of producing the service is likely to also go up. So just to put that in. So the thing is, how much do you really want it? And truly, that's the question. When I was explaining what happened with me, there was a time I could have given up. I was completely tired. We had spent money. There was tension in our family. And I said we should spend another money again. The thing is that because of how much I wanted it, because of when I think about the goal, when I think about all of my family being in Canada, when I think about it, I will get up and I will start working. So how much do you really want it? Don't miss out on this opportunity. Grab the step-by-step Canada relocation guide today. It will help you from feeling helpless, from wasting time and money, trying to relocate where there seems to be little hope. Now, there's one other thing I need to say, that this is an affiliate product. Yeah. So if you were invited by someone, go back and ask them to show you how you can get your own Jaguar system. No matter who you purchase from, eventually you would have my contact and you'll be dealing with me. So purchase from whoever sent you here. If I was the one that sent you and you are in my webinar room, I'm also going to be pasting the link to purchase there. But go back to whoever invited you. We're not sharing the purchase link here, and then tell them to send you the link, and they'll send you the link. You get access to the Jaguar system. You have all my contact details inside the Jaguar system. You can reach out to me directly. And then you need to know that this is a do-it-yourself system, primarily, except you want to pay for professional service. And this is something you can do. If I can do it, I don't have two heads. No, I'm not special. I'm not a genius. And there are lots of people who have been able to do it. I have lots of friends here who came with my help, a lot of them for free. They didn't pay anything. You understand? I just helped them out of the goodness of my heart. And they did most of the work themselves. So you can actually do it too. So thank you so much for listening to me. I know I've rambled for a bit, but I wish you all the best, and I'm going to be taking some questions now. Good. So I was still here. We're here. Great. So I'm going to be opening up the chat. You can type your questions. Don't type questions that I've already answered. Just type normal questions. Don't ask me, I did biology, I did this, I want to study this. I might not be able to answer such consultation questions. Just ask the normal questions that are not in what I have already presented, okay? So I've opened up the chat and you can ask your questions. I'm going to lower everybody's hand. Maybe I'll just take some questions if you raise your hand. But how will I know who raised their hand? How will I do this now? 1 second. I'm just looking for how to do this. It's not letting me. Oh. Ask to unmute. 1 second, please.
How much
No.
everything?
Who is talking?
Me?
What? Okay. Go ahead.
Sorry, I wanted to ask how much is going to be everything paid for the
I already answered that in my presentation. I even went back to show a slide of all the costs that is required. Okay. I'm going to answer questions in the chat. I think that's a better way to do it.
Can I ask?
Okay. Okay. So I have stopped the chat and I'll just answer the question. So once somebody says I'm HND holder, how do I apply? You apply the normal way every other person applies. So your HND, you can still apply. One still need the IELTS for permanent residence after schooling. Yes, every permanent residence program in Canada, you need the IELTS to apply. So even me that I did a master's here, I still did the IELTS. The only thing is that the requirements are lower. So most provinces will say 5 or 5.5 or 6. Do you understand? So it's lower, but you still need to do it. So I'll take more questions. Let me see. So dwell more on the study gap. I left school 10 years ago. I've been a chef till this. So study gap doesn't matter. At the time I applied, I had like 7 years study gap. Do you understand? So long as you have a potent reason for coming to study gap should not hold you back, okay? Then let me look at some more questions here. This person said, oh, sorry. 1 second. What is the minimum age child I can file for? There's no minimum. There's no minimum for the age that your child can join you as a dependent. But if you have a child that is more than 18, they won't be able to come with you as a dependent because they are considered an adult. They cannot go to high school. So your children must be basically 18 years and below. Due to access strike, it's difficult to send my transcript to the school, but I have started a visa process, but I plan to defer. Can I use same visa next year? So when you're giving a visa, you're giving that visa for a certain period. So if you're not able to use the visa for the period that you're giving, the visa will lapse. You will now have to start all over again. I don't know how are you able to get admission without transcripts? If you don't use your visa, it will lapse. That's how it works. Is fixed deposit and evidence of proof of funds? Yes, it is. How do I know the current exchange rate of Canadian study? You can go to a website called owanda.com. Owanda.com, you'll see the current rates. Is it true that payment for first semester tuition after LA counts towards your proof? Yes, it does. So if you pay for first semester, it counts towards your proof of funds. You've already paid now, so you cannot be providing proof of funds for what you have paid for. I just want to know if I can start my admission process now for September of 2023. So if you're talking about universities, the universities have not opened for September of 2023. I think they'll open in October, but for colleges, I think they'll open later in the year. So except you want to contact supervisors. If you want to contact supervisors, you can do that now, but you will not be able to apply for September just yet. At what stage were you able to relocate your family as well? Okay, so in terms of relocating family, differs from everyone. You can relocate your family on day one. So immediately you come to get to Canada and you get your study permit at the airport, your family can start applying immediately, yeah? So it depends. Some people wait till they get their work permit because of how study is. Some people apply for them immediately. Your family can apply anytime. Depends on you. Can I do PGD in Canada with my HND? Yes. Is this system for someone with a 2-2? Definitely. Is there a timeline for the Jaguar system when purchase? No, there's no timeline. You have access for life. I need to purchase. So if you need to purchase the Jaguar system, it's not a book. Like I said, go meet the person that invited you to the webinar. They will send you a link. Yes, of course, there's room for someone with PGD, with HND. Why didn't you choose UK after your master's for settling? Okay, so I did stay in the UK to work, like I said, but you know, when I looked at the permanent residence route for the UK, it was tough. I had to stay there for like 10 years. I wasn't getting an employer that would sponsor me. You know, if you've been to the UK, you understand how that works. So I didn't want to go through that. I actually was more interested in coming back to Nigeria to work with my foreign degree because I wanted to stay in Nigeria. So that's why. If you're in Kenya, yes, you can apply. What is the minimum? Please, as I'm answering the question, answer, because if I answer this question and you ask a question like this, I will not answer it. Third class with 6 years work experience, you can apply even with a third class. Can 5 million take you to Canada? I don't know. It depends. Is it a must that tuition fees must be paid in full? No, nobody will ask you to pay tuition fees in full before coming. Cost of professional services, we'll discuss that after you get the Jaguar system. Who is eligible for a loan in Canada? Somebody that has a letter of admission and also meets the requirements of the loan organization. The chances of getting full funding scholarship, if you meet the requirements, you will get it. Please exclude the 40K. I'll spend additional money again. I don't understand. Of course, you will spend money now. I just explained you have to apply to the schools. Are you going to apply for free? Can I travel together with my family of 2? Yes, you can travel with your family. Can loan be used as proof of funds? So if it's a study loan, yes, it can be used as a proof of funds. What if my course in Canada is a 1-year course? Okay, so if you come to do a 1-year program in Canada, you get a 1-year postgraduate work permit. Your program has to be more than 1 year. So 1 year is 8 months. So if you do a program of 2 semesters for 4 months, you know, the 8-month program, 8 months is 1 year. So 8 months to get a 1-year postgraduate work permit. If you want the 3 years, then you have to do 2 1-year programs. So immediately you finish your 1-year program, you start another 1-year program so that you school for 2 years, then you can get the 3 years postgraduate work permit. Yes, so for statement of accounts, yes, your statement of accounts you need to present a statement of account of up to 4 to 6 months, and your funds should have been in your account for that period as well. Someone with a third class may not be able to apply for a master's program. If you have a third class, you won't do a master's, you would have to do a postgraduate certificate. A 42-year-old can still use the study route, of course. I have a couple of friends who just came in a couple of months ago. They are all over 40. Yeah, so you can do it. What advice do you have for partners who plan to travel together but are not married yet for some reason? So you cannot travel with someone who is not your legal spouse. So there's what they call a common law partner. So if you've lived with this person for more than a year and you have proof that you have lived with them, maybe you bought a house together or you have a land together, you have assets together, that person is your common law partner and they are recognized in Canada. So if you have that and you can prove it, it's fine. There's no age limit for postgraduate programs. I have applied for postgraduate studies in HR. Do you think it's enough to give me a visa? I don't know. That's not that. There's a lot more to get a visa. Can I apply to university with application fee waiver? I don't know any university that will waive that fee for you. Who is better to be a principal among a couple? I don't know. Depends. You have to sort that out with your own spouse. I don't know. If you have a third class, yes, you can go. You can also study if you have a national diploma certificate. How many times in the year is admission opened? Okay, so for universities, mostly they open in September. They have a September term, that's the fall term. Some universities also have the winter term that starts in January. So they have January and September. So September is the most popular for universities. But for colleges, they have September, they have January, and they have May. So a lot of colleges have those 3 terms that are open. Are there scholarship programs for college programs? So scholarship programs for colleges depends on the college. So you have to check their funding packages. How can you identify the programs that have postgraduate work permit? I already said it in my presentation. How about Ghanaian students? Anybody in the world, it doesn't matter where you are. You can use the Jaguar system and you can study in Canada. A lot of Ghanaian students where I live, by the way, there are a lot of them. You cannot use a Nigerian PGD to do masters. You have to do another PGD. So this is both for, is this for only for schooling? So this is basically for studying and using it as a route to permanent residence. So I don't understand this question. If you came late, then go and you will get the recording, then you can watch what we did. Is it advisable to come with family? Well, you are coming to a new country where you don't know anybody basically. So that's why I usually advise come alone, settle down before your family comes. But if you can afford for everybody to come, why not? 40,000 in CDs, I don't know. I don't know. Do you help someone with accommodation? No, no, I've already said we don't. So I'm not going to answer a question that is already. I'm a nurse. Do I need to write the NCLS to come to Canada? No, you don't. You can come to Canada to study nursing, but for you to practice as a nurse in Canada, you must pass that exam. The exchange rates for 40,000, I think in US dollar, I think it's $98 as at the last time I checked. Okay, so I'm going to, can someone get direct admission to PhD? How can, with a first degree? So I'm going to open the chat again. I'm 50 years old with a PhD. Can I still go through the study route? For PGD, if you have a PhD, why are you coming to do a PGD? A visa will not give you visa because that doesn't, there's no career progression or there's no study progression in that. If you are 46 years, you stand a chance. So I'm going to open it up and take some more questions. So the chat is open. You can actually send in some questions. I'll just give it a couple of more minutes and then I'll close it so that I can answer. Please don't ask questions that we have answered before or that is in the presentation. 1 more minute, 60 seconds, and then I would have to close it. Okay, 30 seconds. Okay, let me just stop it so that I can answer. Okay, so I'll just take it from the bottom. Someone says, I am in Dubai. Can I apply from Dubai? You can apply from anywhere. Applications are online, so you can apply from anywhere. Do I pay tuition fees before resuming lectures? Just like in any normal school, you have to register. Even in Nigerian universities, you register now before you take lectures. So you have to register. Registration comes with payment of fees. Registration is just like a week or so before classes resume. I don't want to make mistakes. Can you do it for me? Of course, we can do it for you, but you still have to get the Jaguar system. When you get the Jaguar system, then we can do it for you. HND with lower credit, no, you cannot apply for MSc. You cannot apply for MSc with a HND in lower credit. You would apply for a postgraduate certificate. I did my biometric for visiting visa last year. I've not received any message. I didn't open for pending visa yet. So if you did it last year, you know that there was COVID and all that. So they were not treating visiting visas. You might need to send them a web form. So that's not what we're dealing with here. I just got admission at, I don't know what you are, Regina, 4 years undergraduate, but I'm in a university in another country, BSc, which I will be graduating next semester. I've been denied twice. So you will be denied again if you have a BSc and you're applying for another BSc. After a BSc, you should apply for a postgraduate. What are the requirements for fully sponsored undergraduates? It depends on the school. If one is a nurse midwife in Nigeria, what program should she fit into? There are many programs, many nursing programs that you can fit into. How can I get the recording? So recording will be sent to the, whoever invited you here, you can get the recording from them. So if you found your way here somehow, ask that person for the recording. Can I defer my admission before paying for tuition fee? So deferring of admission depends on the school. Different schools have different requirements for deferring admission. So you just have to ask them. I have a PhD now. How can I lecture? You will need to get a lecturing job. NCE can apply. So most schools in Canada demand GMAT for masters in biz admin. Are there schools that give waiver? Yes, there are a couple of schools that do give waiver. So if you get the Jaguar system, I can tell you those schools. Are there funding mentioned in the program? So business management programs do not provide funding. I've not gotten my transcript. Can I apply? No, you need transcripts to apply. What's the difference between a college and university? That's just how they are called. Colleges give, universities give degrees. So they give bachelors, they give masters, they give PhDs. Colleges give diplomas, they give postgraduate certificates, postgraduate diplomas. So it's the differences in the degrees that they confer. Colleges are more career oriented, universities are more academic oriented. So that's how it is in Canada. I'm currently in Dubai. I hope I can change school. Yes, if you're in Canada, you can change your school and your program. How do I get the Jaguar system? I saw the link online. I mean, the link did not just fly online. The link you saw online was under somebody's profile. Go and ask that person. Must you apply for school before you can relocate to Canada? No. So relocating to Canada via the school route is one way to relocate. You can relocate if you get a temporary job, you can relocate through express entry. You can relocate through the provincial nominee programs. All those ones have different requirements. So it must not apply to school. It's just one of the routes. Thank you for the, can someone apply for masters on another field? So long as a related field, yes, you can. I had a master's and I applied for another master's. Do you understand? So, and I showed them how it was related. So you can apply for another master's. My brother was rejected. What will he do? He will apply again, but this time around, he has to find out what he did wrong by applying for his GCMS notes and then re-strategizing when he's applying again. HND with lower credit, you can apply. Someone that did MSc in biochemistry, you can apply. How can someone get a suitable province? We share that in the Jaguar system. Does first class stand a higher scholarship and admission chance? Yes, definitely. I need any university around Yukon or Northern Canada. Wow. You want to go to Yukon? Not a lot of people go there. And I don't know a lot about Yukon, unfortunately, and the Northwestern Territories. Those places are very cold. But I don't believe that they don't have masters. I think Yukon does have masters as well. Can a PGD invite family? Yes, now. If you have a family, even if you are doing a PGD, or even if you are doing a bachelor's and you have family, you can invite your family. You can do a second master's. I am under 18, still looking to get admission into university in January. What must I do? I don't understand that question. Can I apply for diploma? Yes. What is Jaguar system BSc physician assistantship? Can I do medicine? So you can't do medicine in Canada. Medicine is for permanent residents and citizens, sorry, unfortunately. But you can do public health. Is there an age limit for undergraduate study in Canada? So to come and do undergraduate study in Canada, you have to be up to 18, yeah? But if you're less than 18, say you're 17 and you want to come to Canada, you need to get a guardian. That guardian has to be a permanent resident or a citizen. So that's the only way they are going to admit you. You have a guardian if you're less than 18. 18 is the limit. How does one enjoy all the benefits as a Canadian? You become a Canadian now. I have 2 kids. OND of 20 years ago, get admission. Depends on what the person is doing. Can I apply direct for admission on Canadian government website? Yes, now, why not? Can someone with a NAPTEP result come for a degree certificate? So you need WAEC or NECO. I bought the package, but getting no new updates as stated. So that's not what we're doing here. While studying, how long will it take to get my PR? So you need to finish studying before you think about getting PR. Finish studying and get a job. And then you now look at the options for permanent residence. I mentioned some of those options during the presentation. Take one of those options and then apply for permanent residence. Professional services, I cannot talk about that. It's for those who have the Jaguar system. Professional services means we apply for admission and we apply for visa on your behalf. That's what it means. Can one get study loan from Nigeria? In Canadian, but I don't know about study loans in Nigeria. Canadian banks will not give you any study loans. So you have to go to those organizations that specialize in that. Can I do another master's? Yes. Is there a link for the loan application? So the Jaguar system actually shows you loan organizations that actually do give loans, yeah? And I'm also going to be updating some people who have shared their loan documents, approval documents recently. In the Jaguar system. I have 3rd class in my first degree. If you have a 3rd class, you have to do a postgraduate diploma. I don't think that they will give you a master's. If you're in secondary school, I want to apply. What do you want to apply for? Is the Jaguar system only for Canada? So the Jaguar system was created mainly for Canada, but I know that people have also used it for UK and the USA successfully, but it's for Canada, but you can actually use it for other countries. If you have, I don't understand that question. can I do a different PGD different from my first degree if they are related? So if your first degree was in business management, you've worked in a bank, you cannot say you now want to come and do a graduate certificate in nursing. Nobody will give you that visa. So it has to be something related to what you've done before. I tried the study route in 2017. Can I still use my medicals? No, medicals are only valid for 1 year. First degree in microbiology, can I do a PGD in nursing? I find that it might be difficult. Can you do a PGD in nursing? Do you have any nursing experience? Yeah. So if you go and look at what the requirements are for nursing, you will find out that it's not as easy as that. Is there an open group after payment of Jaguar system? There's no group. Can a graduate still do an undergraduate course? I do not apply. I do not advise that. Can I change course entirely? Canada visa officers don't like that. I have HND and masters. Can I go for PGD? Yes, you can. Link, please. So meet whoever invited you here to send you the link. I have a PhD. What can I do? You can do another PhD. Can you get admission with your registered midwifery certificate? Yes. Can someone who went to nursing school apply? Yes. What would be your advice to someone who has MSc but third class undergrad? That is difficult. So you have to check the requirements for the MSc programs. If they are saying they want 75% for undergrad, then you do not qualify. You have to do a PGD. Best option to bring kids. I already talked about that. I sent all my diploma certificates I got from Nigeria when applying for visa for undergraduate. I don't understand what you're saying. If I get admission and my visa is denied, what should I do next? Reapply. Get your GCMS notes and reapply. Someone who left secondary school 20 years ago to apply for undergraduate, no. I am a HND holder with lower credit. What am I eligible to apply for? Postgraduate certificate. How can I invite people to this program next time? By sending them the link now. You know, we share the link to the webinars online. You can just send them the link. You can change school when you come to Canada. You can still apply for January intake, yes. You don't need to write any exam before coming to Canada. Can someone with a BSc management change to health course? It will be hard. Does the 40K include professional service or advice? No. The 40K includes basic advice and guidance, not professional. If you meet the person that invited you, yes, they will give you the link to purchase. How much it will cost for a family of 5? Go and look at the presentation. I put it there. If your child is in secondary school and wants to enter Canada next year, the procedure is that they will apply to come to school here. And then if your child is coming to school, if your child is underage, you cannot come with your child as a dependent. You cannot be a dependent of your child. It's the other way around. So you cannot say, I want to escort my child. You can visit your child and go back, but you cannot live in Canada if your child is studying here. I'm a medical doctor. Can I do masters in public health? Yes. And then we'll share the recording. A busy person can be assisted for sure. Can you come with your family? Yes. There's no, Canada doesn't write scholarship exams. How do you know which schools are open for admission? So if you go to the school website, you would see whether they are open or not. I've already explained the terms that each of the universities have and that colleges have too. Okay, I think I'll open it up again. I think I've answered all the questions. Are professional certifications admissible? No, it has to be an academic. So you cannot use a professional certification to apply to study in Canada. It does not work. And if you have a third class, you cannot apply for master's directly. You have to do a postgraduate certificate first. If you still want to go for master's, you can use your postgraduate certificate to apply for permanent residence and to get a job. You have a BSc and you're 47 years old, you're 50 years old, you can apply for a postgraduate certificate. If you're 50 years old, I would not advise you to do an undergraduate. I want to go with my daughter. I just explained you cannot. Someone with NECO is eligible. I studied health education. I cannot tell you the cost to do. For O levels, you must pass English with a credit, English and maths. ECA does not replace, well, ECA does, yeah, some schools will take ECA in place of transcripts. There's no age limit for studying nursing. Can I come with my family? Yes. Okay, I think I've answered all the questions. I will open it up. What's the time? Okay, still have some time. Okay, so I'll open it up and you can send a few more questions. If you have any more questions, you can send them. Don't send questions that we've already answered now. Okay. I'll give it 1 more minute. Okay, my goodness. 74 points. Okay, so this might be the last set of questions because these questions are many, over 200 questions. I'm sure there are a lot of repeated questions here. Okay, I'm just going to stop it and start taking the questions. Some people are you're just repeating your questions over and over. It's not fair. How can I apply for medicine and surgery? You can't. Medicine and surgery is not open for international students. When you contacted a supervisor, did you apply first to the school? So no, I contacted my supervisor first and she gave me the go ahead to apply. So she told me what to write in my application. So you do that first. There are some schools that would say, we will match you to supervisors, but even if they say that, please go ahead and contact supervisors by yourself and mention it in your SOP that you've contacted this person or this person. Don't ask me what you can study. Can I send the school my transcript directly? When you're applying, you have to upload it. It's easier because by the time you're sending your transcripts, time would have gone and they will not process application without a transcript. So get a student copy and upload it. There's no age limit to PGD. If you have a master's in media arts, can you apply to international relations? I don't know. Are they related? Can I come and visit my brother in Canada and then use the opportunity to stay permanently? So in Canada right now, they do not have options to convert visiting visa to permanent residence. So if you stay here beyond 6 months on a visiting visa, you will be out of status. And trust me, when you're out of status, you cannot apply for anything. You'll just be hiding that they should not catch you. What is the equivalent of CGPA of 75%? So just do the conversion now. If your GPA is 3.7, 3.7 over 5 times 100, what is the percentage? It's a simple math. So your GPA over 5 times 100. After buying the Jaguar system, yes, we do provide help. I mean, the steps. Jaguar system is very comprehensive, but of course, if you need other explanation, we can. How much does it cost in Ghanaian students? I don't know now. I've already put it, and I don't know what the Ghana CDs rate is. If you've been denied, I've answered this question. The tax system in Canada, the tax is crazy here as well. They can kill you with taxes here. So if you're running away from taxes in the UK, you're coming to meet it here. Can I go along with my less than 1 year old baby? Yes, you can. The truth is that you can. But one thing you need to keep at the back of your mind is that if you're coming to school in Canada, you're coming to school full time. You cannot do part time. So if you have a baby, I don't know how you will do it. You are schooling full time. You cannot do part time. If you do part time, they will not give you the post graduation work permit. You can get the Jaguar system now and apply in 2024 and 2023. It doesn't matter. So the current rate of exchange, you can go to oanda.com, 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 and then you put currency exchange. That is how to convert your proof of funds to Canadian dollars and put that in your SOP that you use the oanda.com exchange rates. HND with a third class can apply, yes. PhD, above 50 years, another PhD. So you graduated as a fashion designer and you wish to travel with your family. Okay, good now, to establish your fashionista. Amazing, we need them. Coming through you do not need IELTS. How can I help someone with only WAEC? They have only WAEC, then they're coming to do undergraduates now. Someone that has only WAEC is not undergraduate or a diploma. MSc statistics looking for PhD statistics. Any proficiency certificate, I don't know. You have to check the schools. So each school will have their own requirements. I applied, I got admission at Regent College and has no post-graduation work permit. So if you have it has no post-graduation work permit, after you finish studying, pack your load and go back. You cannot work. You can apply for your family after you get your visa if you want to. If you have an upper credit in HND, you still cannot do a master's. You have to do a P postgraduate, yeah? You have a civil service passport. I don't know what that is, I'm sorry. You finished O-level in 2017. How old are you? Can you go for undergraduate? Yes, I guess. I don't know how old you are. Lower credit, civil engineering, D7 in English, you can still apply. It's not too late to pay tomorrow. You can come with your 2 daughters and your husband. You do not have to write the IELTS to come and study. You do not. You left university 10 years ago, you can still apply for a master's. Can a chemical engineer apply for a medical related course? I'm sure you know the answer to that. You cannot. So the mode of repayment when you do apply for an international, so I have this on, well, it's there in the Jaguar system. If you do apply for an international loan, the mode of repayment is after you graduate, then you start paying when you start working. So I mean, I think you take it from your pay every month. My voice is not coming out. My voice is coming out though. How many percent tuition? So it depends on the school. Some schools will ask you to pay some money to hold your seat. Some ask you to pay your first term tuition. So it depends on the school. The provinces that are easier to get PR, it's inside the Jaguar system. A 42-year-old applying for BSc. The person is a bit advanced in age. Let them go and do a diploma in their country first. What jobs are available? There are a lot of jobs, student jobs are available, so I can't go into their jobs. how to do that express entry in provincial. So that's a different thing. This we're talking about student study here. So there's another program for express entry. Can you get a full-time job instantly after your master's? I don't know now. I can't tell the future. Is PhD eligible for post-graduation work permit, and for how long? Yes, definitely PhD is eligible for post-graduation work permit. The highest post-graduation work permit is 3 years. That's the highest that they give. So if you school for 4 years, you're still getting a 3-year post-graduation work permit. So that's the highest, 3 years. Can a diploma nurse apply for a degree program? I guess so, yes. How do I contact supervisor in the school? We teach that in the Jaguar system. I studied history, but I've been a makeup artist for the past 7 years. I want to study cosmetology. I don't even know if there's a program like that and if they can give scholarship for that. Seriously, I don't know. But I guess you can if there's a program. But scholarship depends on the school. Tutu in accounting, can you apply for masters? Probably not. Can I get a job after schooling, even though you haven't worked for any organization before? So when you're a student, you will be working. So you have work experience. So yes, you can apply for a job, even though there are fresh students here, there are high school students that get jobs here. They haven't worked before now. That's how it works. How do I get work in Nigeria, in Canada from Nigeria? So that's a completely different thing that you have to get my express entry course. We show you how to get temporary jobs inside there. So that's a different program. How do you apply after your service? Youth Copper, you apply the normal way now. Can I apply for PhD with a CGPA of 2.9? CGPA in what? Can a single mother come to Canada? Why not? Yes. Applications are currently open. Yes. And NAPTEP, I don't know what NAPTEP is. I just know they need WAEC or NECO. You don't need to get a supervisor except your program indicates that you should. You can travel with your 2 kids. Co-op version of a course means, so co-op means that you get to work as part of your studies. So maybe in 1 term or 2 terms, instead of being in class, you go and work and get paid. That's what co-op means. It's like internship while you study. Can I use NECO in 2 systems? Yes, you can, but make sure that your maths and English is in 1 sitting. I do not help with proof of funds. You need to pay application fee. You and your sister cannot contribute to get the Jaguar system. Jaguar system is 1 per person. So when we see 2 of you logging in, we're going to log 1 of you out and probably permanently remove you from the Jaguar system. So it's 1 person. Your sister should get her own, you should get your own. So I don't know any schools. There's actually a couple of schools that don't collect application fees. I don't know if those are the best places to apply to. I'm going to update that information in Jaguar system. There are colleges, they don't take application fee, but then you should know that the competition there will be too much if they don't take application fee. When are you going to do this program next? I need to invite people. So we do it like every month or every couple of weeks, as much as I can, if I have strength. But we try and do at least 1 every month. Can I use the visa gotten with other university admission letter for another school admission if the previous admission was deferred? Yes. So if you get admission, if you get different admissions and you get visa, you can come in Canada and change your school. So you can use that visa for any other school. So your visa is not tied to the particular school. Your wife can work in Canada while you school and she works full time. That's 40 hours a week. If you have a master's, you should not come and do a diploma. They will not give you visa. A government worker with OND can get admission. Why do you ask such questions? What is wrong with a government worker with OND now? Of course they can get admission. Procedures to get a job from Canada. I've already answered that. NECO result must be good. That means you must have a credit in maths and English, and you must have at least 7 subjects. I think I've answered all the questions. Yes, this platform is for those who want to come to study in Canada and then use it as a route to permanent residence. Somebody is asking me, I'm wondering, if you're on a PhD program in Nigeria, can I reapply again for the same course in Canada? So there are two things. It's either you're dumping your PhD program or you're finishing it and starting. So if you're finishing it and starting another one, it cannot be the same. But if you're dumping it, I guess, yeah, you can apply to the same thing. Food science, if you have a BSc in food science, you have only worked in a bank, yes, you can apply for a food science program. You have a degree in it, so you can apply for a higher degree in it. If you have been denied twice, then you need to get your GCMS notes to know why they are denying you. Professional courses cannot be used to apply to schools in Canada. Just because you worked in the health sector as a marketer might not give you the requirements to study for health administration. So you have to find out if you meet the requirements. I've heard people say that if you apply for visa to come with your family at first, after getting admission, it won't be approved. Yes, there's a likelihood that it may not be approved because a lot of people don't know how to do the application when they are putting their family. Do you understand? So it might be safer for you to apply by yourself. But if you're using a certified agent that knows what they are doing, they can get you and your family in immediately. You cannot apply for medicine. Consider price reduction. Okay. How do you see that the dollar is going up? Who is asking me to tax system? Okay, I think I've answered that one before. The Jaguar system is 40,000. Yes, if you purchase the Jaguar system and you need us to provide professional service to do everything, we can do that. Proof of funds should be in your account for 4 to 6 months. Doctor of pharmacy, I'm not sure what that is. That's medicine as well, right? I don't think you can do it if you're not a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident. If you studied oil and gas, yes, you can do a postgraduate in project management, definitely. Project management is general. If I buy the Jaguar system, will you guide me till I land in Canada? I don't know what that means. You should go and watch the presentation again. There's no link to apply for scholarship. You have to apply for scholarship to the school that you're applying to, except it's a general scholarship. Property is not proof of funds. So proof of funds is money now, ego, cash. Property is not a proof of funds. If you want to use property as proof of funds, you have to sell it and put the money in your account. So if your son is turning 18 next July, he needs to have WAEC or NECO, and then you can start applying for him. I think as soon as they open up, they will open up for September in October. If you want him to go to a university, if you want him to go to a college, you can apply to him now, for him now rather. Brock University doesn't do graduate diploma, I think, in business administration. I'm not sure, but I don't think they do. How do you know that a potential supervisor has funding before sending cold emails? You ask them. You send them email and then you ask, and usually it will show on the school website that this program has funding. So it will show there on their website that they offer funding for this program, and it's there how much funding they offer. You need explanation about what the Jaguar system is for real. Go and watch the recording. Okay, I think I've answered. I want to stop by 4. My WAEC report got stolen. I have only police certificate and photocopies. What do I do? So if you have photocopies, you can apply with the photocopies. So that's fine. I think it's fine. And we have templates in the Jaguar system on how to contact supervisors for funding. We can also help you review the emails that you send to them as well as your SOP. We do that for free. So before you process, is it necessary to have an account on IRCC? Yes, now that's the account you use to apply. You have to open an account on IRCC before you can apply. I think I've answered all these questions. Let me see. How can you get supervisor? I've talked about that. How much total can one person budget? I talk about, go and look at the recording, you will see where I talk about that. Why do most Nigerians prefer Alberta? No, that's an amazing question. I have lots of friends in Alberta. My friend that called me that I talked about in my presentation, she lives in Alberta. The reason is because Alberta is oil place, oil city, yeah? That's where oil jobs are booming. But then because oil is dropping in Canada, Alberta is not so great again. They are losing jobs there because the oil revenue is dropping. But yeah, Nigerians like Alberta. You can get the recording of this webinar. Someone who studied French as an undergraduate, they don't have to write IELTS if you're from an English-speaking country like Nigeria. Naira equivalent, I don't know. Naira equivalent of the total money, I don't know. Non-study PR alternatives. I don't know what this person is asking. Do you offer professional services for non-study? If you're talking of express entry, yes, we do offer. But for you to get our professional services, you have to buy either the express entry course, which is a master class, or the Jaguar system. That is the only time we can do the professional services for you. No, I cannot reduce the price to make more sales. I'd rather increase the price and make less sales. Because those are I only want serious people. A post-baccalaureate program for someone that already has an MSc, I do not advise that. Post-baccalaureate, I guess you can do that, yes, because also a post-baccalaureate. It's also a postgraduate program. For PhD, yes, you need to look for a supervisor. You can go with your family, even if you're coming as an undergraduate, you can come with your family. So if you haven't collected your transcript, you need to go and look for one, ask NASU, like one person in the school to get your transcript. You need transcripts. If you fail IELTS exam, what happens? You don't even need it. So you can use a statement of result in place of transcript if that statement of result has everything that you need. So it has your courses, it has your grades and all that for all the years that you spent in the university, just the way a transcript is. Yes, you can use it. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to take a 1 minute break and then open it up again. I need to just grab something. I need to go and relieve myself, but I've opened up the chat and this is the last set of questions that I'll take. After this, I would have to close, okay? I'll be back 1 second. Okay, so this is the last set of questions. And I know a lot of us are still asking questions that we've already answered, but I'll just answer this last set of questions and then we'll call it a day. And then we always do these webinars at least once a month. Sometimes we try and do it more than once, and then we answer the questions. And if someone sent you here, you can always ask them the questions. They can ask me if they don't know, but a lot of them also know the answers, okay? Okay. So we'll just take the last set of questions. And then, of course, I'm going to be sending the recording. I'll send it on social media, send it to the affiliates. Wherever I invited you here, they'll get the recording so you can always watch and see what we talked about here and the questions that we answered. I'm sure your question would have been answered as well. So I'm just going to stop it now and then answer the questions. How do I do that? 1 second. Can I use my printout WAEC in wait for original? I'm not sure what that means. I'm not going to tell. How can I tell you the course that you do? You did fisheries with a third class. What can you do in PGD? I guess you can do fisheries now or any related program. So that's not the kind of questions we're answering here. Master's class course. In the master class course for temporary jobs, how much is it? What is it? So the express entry master class is for express entry, and as bonuses we have the temporary worker program. I'm also going to be adding another bonus to that for the provisional nominee programs. A lot of people are asking. So yes, it's a bonus in the express entry master class. Is funding available for college? No, colleges do not give funding because they do not do research. They do not do research programs, so they cannot offer funding, but they do offer scholarships. Do I need to be in the pool? We're not talking about PR. Do I need to? No. Do I need to be in the pool before applying for PR? I already talked about how you can get permanent residence after studying. Check the recording. Can someone with pass grade in NC apply? Yes. Brock University offers graduate diploma in business administration. They do? Okay, that's great then. Brock has been bringing out a lot of new programs. Brock is a very, they're a very active university. So I've seen like a lot of new programs. They have a PhD now in sustainability, lots of new things happening there. British Columbia is not in the northern part of Canada. British Columbia is one of the warmest places in Canada, so it's not in the northern part. Great province, by the way. Okay, so if you're doing another master's program, I did another master's program like I showed you. I did one in the US, in the UK, sorry, before I did this one in Canada, and I was not silent about it. Yeah, I told my supervisor about it. My supervisor was excited. Maybe that's why she even took me that master's program. And then I also talked about it in my visa letter. So I did not hide it. So I guess it depends on you. Can I study postgraduate in business resources and marketing with my MSc in Agric? I don't think so. What do visa officers look out for? We say all that in the Jaguar system, very detailed. So we tell you documents that you need to have. You must have those documents, how to present your application, how to convince them you are going to come back after your studies, because that is the whole point. They have to be convinced or else they will not give you the visa. And we'll show you how to do that in the Jaguar system. The one to masterclass, go and check out for the masterclass. Go to Seller and look for the masterclass. So we have it on Seller and it will be coming on ExpertNet as well. What about someone still in the university? What about them? What age can kids, my dependent, go to school? So they can go to school for free up to 18 years. How do I get sponsorship loan? Check the Jaguar system. Study gap. I graduated in 2013. Yes, you can do your master's even that though. Can you suggest regions that are good for something? FSM, what's that? Check the Jaguar system. LMIA. I cannot talk about LMIA here now. We're talking about study. I'm going to do another webinar for Express Entry, and we'll talk about LMIA and all of that in that one, okay? So we can't talk about that here. Master's master class. So if you get a visa for a PhD, can you change it to a PGD? Now, there's something about changing from a higher program to a lower program. Do you understand? You can change from a PhD to a PhD, but if you want to change from a PhD down to a PGD, it might be problematic because you are going lower. Where can we find a recording session for this? So I'll post it on social media and then send it to all the people who invited you here, and they can send it to you. So this is about work. We're not talking about work here. So if you want to apply for a master's degree and you've done another master's, you need your BSc degree transcript as well as your master's transcript. So for everything, you need your bachelor's transcript. Oh, please stop talking about price reduction. Who is this person now? I have a third class in accounting, PGD in accounting, professional diploma in accounting. No, you cannot apply to a master's. You have a master's in information technology from Open University. How do you travel for school? That's what we've been talking about here now. Watch the recording. 49 years old, can you go for master's if you meet the requirements? Can you help with proof of funds? No. You need my contact. So as soon as you get your own Jaguar system, my contact is inside the Jaguar system. All of my contact, all my Canadian number, Nigerian WhatsApp number, emails, everything is in there. Yeah, you can change school when you're in Canada. People do that a lot. I will talk about the express entry in like a couple of weeks. There will be another webinar where we'll talk about the express entry. So be patient. Maybe in a couple of weeks' time, we'll talk about that. I'll do a class for that. The Jaguar system is 40,000. You can change in Canada your school. You can change your school in Canada. Master's degree is 1 year or 2 years, depending. If you have a master's, you can apply for another master's. You're 30 years old, you can apply for postgraduate or bachelor's, depending on. So if you have a bachelor's, apply for postgraduate. If you're a forklift operating, forklift something machine, that's not what we're talking. That's work. This is study. Okay, you have a diploma in nursing. I doubt that you can apply this for BSc in public health. I guess you can if you meet the requirements. Password to the webinar to invite people. So if we do another webinar, I always send out the link as well as the passcode. I always put it on social media and on my status, and all the athletes have it as well. So what age can my kids start nursery school for free? So as soon as your child is 4 years old, they start going to school for free. Below 4 years, they are going to daycare. You take care of that. Okay, Brenton is a good university. We're doing a webinar for express entry in a couple of weeks' time. If you have children that are American citizens, they can actually enter Canada without a visa, but they still need a study permit. So when they enter Canada, at the immigration point, you apply for study permit for them, but they don't need a visa to come to Canada. You don't need IELTS. Can I use my PhD to do another PhD? Definitely. I have many people in the Jaguar system doing that. HND graduate in a private poly, will it be possible for me? I don't know. People from private schools also are able to study, I think. Can I use a transcript I collected 12 years ago? Yes, you can. Transcripts are the same, whether it's 12 years ago or 2 years ago. I'm 17. You want to study pharmacy or nursing and travel with your family, what should you do? If you're 17 years old, that means the only family you can travel with is your wife and children. So if you are referring to your parents, you cannot travel with them. You cannot travel with them because your parents are not dependent on you. HND, you will not do masters. I don't know what a sandwich program is. Can I apply for MSc with the I don't know what a sandwich program is. The recording will be shared. Okay, so there's a cost for getting the Express Entry Masterclass shows you how you can get temporary jobs and how you can also apply to the provincial nominee programs. It is on Seller and it will be on ExpertNet as well by next week, I think. So you can get that. So people who did 1 year programs back to back, they get 3 years